Hi everybody, today we are going to be talking about pragmatism, so all you're going to need is a pen and paper for later. Pragmatism is the philosophical movement that includes those who claim that an ideology or proposition is true if it works satisfactorily, that the meaning of a proposition is to be found in the practical consequences of accepting it, and the unpractical ideas are to be rejected. So if you're like me, you might be wondering, what exactly does all that mean? So let's take a minute to break this down and get a better understanding. Pragmatism is a basic concept that reality is based on experiences and interactions. Two philosophers who are known for this theory are William James and John Dewey. The philosophy revolves around the idea that students are not merely minds to be filled. They are human beings, capable of individual thoughts, interests, and experiences. John Dewey focuses on building onto students' prior experiences to assist in social and personal growth. Have you ever made a decision? Have you ever wondered how you made this decision? Take a look at this bird singing in a cage. Imagine your mind is the bird. The cage represents pragmatism. Pragmatism is defined as the branch of philosophy that accesses truth in terms of effect, outcome, and practicality. A great example of this concept is habits. Your mind forms habits so you know how to handle situations as they come up. Without habits, you would have to relearn what you do with every experience you have. The way you decide to handle situations that form habits is what generates your personality. Essentially, individuals form habits. Habits generate personalities. Personalities influence a person's values, and values dictate decision making. All this is resulted from practical thinking, aka pragmatism. In this process, you weigh out the benefits and consequences of the decisions you make. We see this all the time in our daily life decisions. Let's take the example of religion. Everyone must decide whether or not to join the organized religion. Let's say you're a faithful person who's prone to paranoia. You would have to weigh the benefit of eternal life with the fear of sinning. If the benefits outweigh the consequences, you will then choose to join the church and religion. Why is this example so specific? Because pragmatism is a personal process. Consider an individual's decision to do something like become a stripper. Although society says that the consequences of exposure outweigh the rewards of money, others might weigh the odds in a different way. Personality and upbringing influence the values that make pragmatism so personal. So why is pragmatism so apparent in our decisions? Because pragmatism is innate. If we look at the ancient Mayans, we see pragmatism in the leader's decision to sacrifice individuals to the gods. At some point in time, the pros of pleasing the gods outweighed the cons of losing civilians. Pragmatism is even evident in the decisions young children make. Does the convenience of wetting yourself outweigh the consequences of wearing diapers? Children eventually choose to give up the convenience of diapers in exchange for rewards and feeling like a big kid to use the potty. What does pragmatism mean for us exactly? It means that we always use it when making decisions. Try to make a decision without processing it. Even if you think that you are making a decision without processing it, you're not. You have subconsciously weighed out the pros and cons, even if the benefit appears spontaneously. So, like we discussed in the beginning, a bird is your mind and a cage is pragmatism. So, why does the bird continue to sing? Pragmatism, though like a cage, is more of a safety net and it allows us to grow and develop. Pragmatism allows us to form our own decisions that will lead to personality, mental, educational growth and development. We can only grow and thrive within this cage of pragmatism. As we experience more, we will evolve as people, which will lead to development in decision-making skills, personal growth, values, beliefs, etc. So after we learned a little bit about pragmatism, let's take a minute to think about everything that we've just learned and about a time where we had to make a decision. Use what you just learned about pragmatism to think and reflect on the decision that you made. We'll take a minute to think about it now. Okay, now that you had some time to think about it, I'm going to pause this. And if anyone wants to volunteer to discuss some of the things that they thought about. So, what does all this have to do with education? Well, since pragmatism influences how we form our personalities, values, theories, and beliefs, it has a lot to do with it. Pragmatism basically just means thinking or dealing with problems in a practical way and using what we know as individuals along the way to make these decisions. Pragmatism focuses on the basic principle of growth and development through interaction and environments among individuals. Pragmatism can be used in the classroom by taking people's specific interests, using their experience, their beliefs, their morals, their values, and using this to foster a lively classroom environment where people can discuss, share their emotions, opinions, beliefs, and anything else in a safe place, and use this information to help them grow as people, as well as educationally. We know that learning is the most effective when it's centered around emotions or meaningful or personal experiences for the individuals. Education is most effective when it allows the person to solve their daily problems and lead a better life through learning and the education itself. Pragmatism can be used to do just that. Okay, guys, so now we'll be taking that paper and pencil that we talked about earlier, and we'll just be drawing this nice little circle diagram on it. You'll just want to draw one circle in the middle and 5 circles coming from different directions on the outside. In these circles, you're going to want to use symbols, images, pictures, words, whatever you guys want to use to represent different experiences, beliefs, moments, turning points in your life that you feel like have affected you as a person. So think of each bubble as maybe a chapter in your life story. So I made one as an example just to show you guys. And for example, mine for college, that was a turning point for my undergrad when I realized how much I valued education and learning and decided to go back for my graduate degree in counseling and now for my graduate certificate in college teaching. Because education has just always been so important to me and a huge part of my family growing up. So take a few minutes and think about this, and then after a few minutes, we'll see if anyone wants to share.